What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys are listening to episode 488. We've been doing these Zoom ones since the pandemic, and I want to thank everybody who's liked and subscribed. Please continue to rate and review the Virzi Effect. That way it continues to move up. Thank you for all the subscribers and all my YouTube channel subscribers. Today on the Virzi Effect, I've wanted these two knuckleheads on here for some time now. Philadelphia's own two guys that when I see them in New York City and I run into them at a club, and this, I really do mean this. I'm not saying this because I'm, they're on the show, but I like seeing them out. They're two guys that when I see, when I see Foley at New York Comedy Club, I get a nice sense. Kevin opens for me on the road. And then these two Philadelphia guys said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take this business by the fucking balls and throat, okay? And treat you people like the disgusting, disgraceful pigs that you are, all right? And we're going to start a podcast that absolutely fucking dominates. I was a guest on the podcast. I loved it. I called what was going to happen with that podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the Are You Garbage guys are here, but they are also hilarious stand-up comedians. My good friend Kevin Ryan and also H. Foley. By the way, Foley, you sticking with the H through this whole thing? You sticking with the
Wait, hold on. First of all, I don't get the good friend too. I get the good friend Kevin Ryan and the other in this fucking bozo. That's what I get. That's what just happened right now.
I love that. I love that.
You want to know why?
To a guy that I love. I love this kid more than anything, and whatever the fuck his name is over there.
Oh, you want to know why? I was actually thinking of if it's H. Do I say H? So the beginning was fucking with me because you do something different here, Foley. You're doing something different. You're going first letter period, then the last name. And I haven't seen this in the business.
That's old school.
Listen, man, I've seen, we've got like Louis J. Gomez. Okay, we got some, there's definitely
Louis C.K.
Yeah. Listen, some guys go all three. Rest his soul, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I get that, but you're going H. period Foley, and I think I like it. I think I like it.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it. H. Foley sounds a lot cooler than Henry Foley. And let's be honest, I need every advantage I can to look cool. Because it ain't the physical appearance.
No.
I like it, man. I like that you go H. Foley. And yes, we are friends too. I shouldn't have came in so hot with Kevin because he opened for. But listen, when you had the meal,
I hear all about it too. I hear about the dinners and the cigar bars and hanging out and maybe going to Virzi's. And I was going to go to dinner, but I couldn't. I'll go to dinner. I like dinner. Because I know you do it right.
He's so jealous, dude. He's so jealous.
I like dinner.
It's insane.
Well, listen, when you share the meal that we had at True Lux in Houston.
I went up to Virzi's to watch the fight. He said, look at this guy, dude. Immediately.
I sat outside of Virzi's house in my car for about 45 minutes last Thanksgiving, just fucking looking in the window.
You were like the donkey in Shrek.
Bottle of frog leaf on the table.
Before we were like tight, this was years ago. You were outside the old stand, and like I didn't know you. I just knew you to be like maybe we would say like even hey, what's up? Like at a club. Like I didn't know. I barely knew Virzi, but like just this is the most Virzi response. I was walking by and I was like, we're definitely not at a stop and chat level. You know what I mean? Like at that was years ago. So I was like, oh shit, it's Virzi. I'll just go like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? And like he was like, hey man, he initiated. He goes, hey man, how you doing? I go, oh, what's up? And I kept walking, and he goes, I guess fuck me then. And I was just like, oh shit. I was like, I got a thing, the subway. He's like, fuck me. All right. Like,
oh, that's great. What's funny is when you guys first.
You got to play it cool a little bit.
You guys, I don't know if you remember this, but this is my nutty shit. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, because this thing said unstable.
Yeah, you're great.
Anyway, so I was at the stand, the old stand, and we were outside. And I don't know if I think Bobby Kelly might have been there. And we were outside, and all you Philadelphia guys came up in a whole pack. And you're talking to Bobby, and you're not really talking to me. And then I'm going, these fuckers don't like me. I'm going, these guys don't like me. And then my stupid ass goes, oh, they don't think I'm fucking funny yet?
Man.
Oh, they'll fucking, and it was just the craziest delusional. We never even met. And then I meet you guys, and you guys are nothing but sweethearts. But that's how nuts comics are when you don't know. The insecurity is ridiculous.
Of course. Yeah. I remember that night.
Yeah, that's what you were thinking? Man, I remember that night too.
Yeah, I was like, I was going, oh, they're not talking.
It's also,
go ahead.
Sorry, I had to follow you. Though you were the first like hard follow. You're like, dude, he made a girl pee her pants in the audience. I remember. What do you think? Not funny. I mean, nobody makes people pee themselves.
I remember that. That always made me feel good when you told me that. I love Philly guys, and here's why I love Philly guys. You guys have this thing, which you guys just it's such a real, honest thing. But Foley and I were outside New York Comedy Club, and I told him about a movie. I said, dude, you got to see Hands of Steel. It's De Niro is in it. It's about fucking Roberto Duran, blah, 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 this and that. And then I see him. I don't know if you remember this. I see him like a month later or 2 weeks later at the club. And he walks up to me happy. And he goes, hey, dude, that movie Hands of Steel with De Niro and everything like that. And I go, you liked it, right? And he goes, no, dude, the story was all over the place. I'm going like, what the fuck? Why would you? All right. Like he went out of his like, how about just don't tell me you saw the movie? How about we just, how is it? Like, he just goes, no, dude, the story was all over the place. The plot was the subplot. And I'm just standing there it made me actually like him better in a way. I was like, good for him, but good for him. But I want to.
It wasn't Hands of Steel. I think you just made that up. That's like a.
What? No, it was some shit like Hands. It was something like that. I'll look it up. But well, either way, that's the name of this episode.
It was like a Seinfeld movie. I love it.
You guys came to New York and you fucking figured it out. And what I love is that you guys were always trying stuff. You guys were getting on stage. You guys were slugging away. You guys were doing everything. Now you have the podcast, which is crushing. I couldn't be happier for both of you. And it's such a great show. Are You Garbage? It's such a great show. How did you guys come up with the Are You Garbage idea? Were you guys just throwing shit at the wall, seeing what stuck, or like how did that one come about?
Yeah, we used to play it. I don't know. It's like one of those things once you realize, like, looking back, it's like we just used to shit on each other all the time about like our upbringings. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, you were one of those kids that drank milk with dinner, or you were one of those kids that did that. And like, we used to do it on long car rides on like shitty road gigs and stuff. And then we played it back in the day on an old podcast that we used to do. We used to play like once a month, and it just like Foley came up with like the actual game. We were going home for Christmas, and he's like, everybody take inventory of like the soaps that your mom uses, you know, if you have this in the garage. So like we did all this shit. And then we were looking for a new project to do something, trying to get some sort of fucking momentum going.
It was either that or selling like, windows.
Yeah. He was like, I've been thinking a lot about Are You Garbage? I was like, dude, so have I. I'm like, and then we kind of just fucking pulled the trigger on it. And, you know, we've covered some ground in the past year, which has been fucking awesome.
Yeah. And it's cool when you have a winner. Like I knew when I did the show, I was an early guest on the show, and you guys brought me to a place mentally that fucked me up. Like
I remember when I got you. I got you with the AstroTurf. I got you with the AstroTurf at your grandma's on the porch. It was the one bedroom apartment we had, me and my mom, after my parents got divorced. And like the way you asked me the question, It's flustered now.
Dude, it was like, because you literally brought me to a place where I was 8 or 9 years old again in that moment. And then the questions were just funny. So for the listeners of the Virzi Effect who don't know about the show, and you should check it out because it truly is one of the hottest new podcasts that's out there, period.
Thank you.
But they basically get a guest on and they ask them questions to find out if they grew up classy or a piece of trash, like most people, like, did you, the what's it called? The rabbit ears on the antenna, the drinking milk and this, the makeshift lunches and all of these things they ask you. But the brilliance of the show is the nostalgia of it. The brilliance of the show is like, while you're doing that, because let's be honest, most people probably, I would imagine if you had to tell me, would you say it was like 70-30 trash to class?
It's 90% trash.
It's a lot of trash. It's a lot of trash. Well, it's also too, we're dealing with mostly comedians. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to grade on a curve a little bit too. Like we're not talking to accountants and fucking lawyers. You know what I mean? We're bringing in dirt balls to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would like to think that I came across though I would like to say that I was on the lowest part of the trash.
You're a classy guy, man. You're a classy dude. You do things right. You have things organized. You're meticulous. You like fine things. You guys run a tight household up there. You keep everything neat. Anytime I hear about anybody coming for an event, it's always, 5-star service. You're clean with the sneakers. You got the jewelry. You keep the nice color on the skin. You're doing all right.
Foley, you look right now like a bookie that's
good.
You look like a bookie, but that didn't deliver the money today. Like you were supposed to drop it off by like 2, and you just call the guy and you're like, "Listen, Ralphie, I'm sorry. I'll be down there tomorrow. Just tell them."
What do you mean they won? They won? What the fuck?
They were laying.
You look like a guy
gonna cover.
You're like a guy who's really mad that they hit the over.
But no, like
in Cleveland.
What I love about you two guys, and this is what I want the people to know, and this is why I wanted you on the show, is like you guys didn't do the like let's not work and figure something out. You like Foley, I see you grinding in New York every fucking time I'm in the city. You're at New York Comedy Club. Kevin, you're always running around the city trying to get a set. You'll open for people. You guys are always into it and then doing that. And it's like, that's the difference, man. And I feel like there are people in this game, and obviously I'm not going to mention names. It'd be funny if I just sabotage so many people. No, but like there are people that are like, that do it right and like want it and are like Kevin, me and you were outside one time in the Mohegan Sun. And I said, the way you behave and the way you're going about this business and the way you're doing everything, it's inevitable that you're going to be successful and win. Because when you do it, it doesn't matter what the project is. That's irrelevant. What it is that there are people in comedy. There are people that do what we do that it's like, I remember Michael Rappaport was on a podcast and he said, I didn't go to LA because I wanted to try acting. He said, I went to LA because I had to be in movies. I was going to be in movies. Like, it wasn't even like when he talked about it, it wasn't like, I'll go on some auditions and I'll fucking get an apartment and sleep on it. It was like, no. I'm going to get into the movies. It's a matter of like when. And I think that there's always groups of people in comedy, like guys that come up from Boston together, guys that come up from, or the New York guys. And there are just guys that work and get up and keep getting better and do something. And so I don't look at it like, oh, lucky you guys did this. I don't look at it as like, oh, are you garbage, man? Lucky that shit happened because it was it was like, no, it was coming. Something was coming.
Thank you.
I say lucky it happened.
Yeah, I still say lucky for sure. I mean, but it's to go back to it. It's one of those things where it's like, I think the people you have to push yourself in the industry, or people pull you along, and like certain people get out. Like we're two fucking guys that, never had fucking opportunities. You know what I mean? We never had industry, never had manager agents, never had fucking like MTV being like, do you want to audition for this show? Or kind of like we had
MTV didn't call, Paulie. You believe that shit? They didn't want the kid.
I
would have done the Spring Break House.
That would have been, you would have been great in that.
He would have played the house.
You kids going to the club? You going out tonight?
So we never had that shit. So it was like, all we could do was just fucking like, well, we can get up on stage, and we would, we do well on stage. So we had that. So it was like, just keep fucking grinding to find something. You know what I mean? Like we had a fucking, fight tooth and nail to get an opening spot somewhere,
No, I get that. I totally get that. And listen, with everything that we do in this business, sometimes there's an opportunity, or there's a little bit of like, oh, this stuck, thank God. But when you're somebody that like made a decision to win and is going to do that, then like opportunity meets that. So, and there's just, listen, man, maybe this is just my dumb positive fucking the way that I am, but like,
I agree. Yeah.
Opportunity meets that. So if it wasn't like, if you're continuing to put yourself in a situation for a chance, it's going to eventually happen. And so what happened was you two were super funny, talented. And now all of a sudden the show, which makes your guests love it, the podcast is like impossible to not, it's probably one of the only, I don't listen to any podcast in mine. I don't listen to anything any podcast. I'll listen to a clip, but your guys, when I see a clip of the person, I have to listen to at least a couple of questions and see, who you have on. And it's just such a good time. It's so funny. And I was sold when Foley said to me that one time, he goes, you love your kids, don't you, Paul? And I was like, and I felt like I was in a fucking interrogation.
What was it for? I forget.
There was the garage fridge. It was the garage fridge.
Yeah.
But you had a fridge in the basement. He's got the basement fridge. He's got a basement fridge.
Got the basement.
I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of questions about garbage. I just want to see. Did you either of you guys ever it's more not garbage, but I just want to know about you. Did either of you guys ever own a selfie stick?
No.
I wanted
That's
one.
a great one.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Because it says a lot about somebody if somebody bought a selfie stick, like if their purpose was to go to the store and actually get that, I think it says a lot about the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were so hot for a minute. Everybody hated them, but they were everywhere. It was like, it was the thing that you wanted to use, but you didn't want anybody to see you using it. Let's be honest, you got a pretty nice pick. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a fatty like me, you could really get the angles and cheat it a little bit. A little smoke and mirrors.
Well, here's the other thing. I had Tom Green on the Virzi Effect on this show, and he said that he invented the selfie stick before it came out. So what he was doing that MTV shit and the Tom Green show. He didn't know how to do it. So he was like self-rigging these things and like getting bats and wiffle ball bats and duct tape and shit. And people are going, what are you doing? Shit. And he's like, oh, fuck. He could have went on to Shark Tank and fucking did that.
I believe it.
He's
doing pretty good though, right? He's got a couple of bucks on him.
Yeah, Tommy Green's doing pretty fucking good, I think.
A little bit of cash.
Yeah, Tom Green's doing
Canadian dollars, but still not bad. I don't know what you get up there.
Oh, that's fucking great. So I want to ask you guys a question. When you guys started the podcast, you guys obviously no studio, nothing, right? Or you did?
Well, we started renting space at this place in New York that was like, how much was it, Foley? It was like, we were paying like $60 an episode or something like that. Remember? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like a podcast place. We just went and like, they gave us the audio and the video, and then we had to like kind of do everything else. But it was, and we did 2 or 3, and then the fucking world shut down. And then we went we only did 4. I think we did 4. We had 4 in the can, and then the world shut down. And I remember being like, I was like, because we were so excited about this. And I remember being like, I can't let this kill the fucking project. You know what I mean? Like I got to figure something out, you know, and I ended up kind of fucking picking up steam over the pandemic.
Yeah, it was really 3 things that kind of like, you know, came together and worked out. I think the idea of Are You Garbage is Kevin and I in our most like genuine form. You know what I mean? We're talking about really what is just inside of us that we would be talking about with you in the green room anyway. That's where the conversation would go. You know, we like to relish in, you know, our trashy upbringing, or, you know, making fun of each other for the shit that we do. It was that, and it was also, I think, you know, I give Kevin a lot of credit. Kevin, I think, kind of, realized before me that, like, hey, I think we have a really good product here. I'm going to figure out the ways that you have to play this little chess game to get it out to people. You know what I mean? As far as like knowing, you know, how to post, when to post, all that kind of stuff. He's really, I say it on the podcast all the time, but he really is the fucking brains behind the operation, man. He engineered it like fucking General Patton. I'm telling you, he was like Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. I was in the foxhole with my hand over my head crying. He's up there with the 45 shooting at the Panzers.
I think it's safe to say that each of you guys have different skill sets.
Foley tends to shine.
I don't handle the books, Paulie. He doesn't let me. Yeah. You got to see him once a week. I sit down and I write in my little book, like, you know, what advertisements or whatever are coming up. He's already told me 4 times, and he'll be like in the middle of like trying to figure out, you know, how to hook up the stamp stop com printer to send out the cards or something like that. He's pulling out his hair. He's freaking out. And I'll be like, now what do we got coming in from Sheath this month? What's the deal?
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? That's what I feel like that shit makes a good team, right? Like you need those, you need the pieces. Like the one guy does this, the other guy does that. But like you said, and I think you nailed it, it's like the purest form. You guys are doing kind of what your wheelhouse is. I remember one time, Kevin, you were walking up to like the little, you know, I don't know, circle, whatever, the cipher. Remember they used to call it, or whatever it was. And they were talking shit about your Jack, and you were like, I didn't even get there yet. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what you guys did, and you did it to each other, and you did it well. And, you know, now you're talking about stamps.com because of it.
Yeah, it's true. But like we also like people like it sounds corny, but it's like it's celebrated. You know what I mean? Like we love, like we're garbage. People think that like they come on and they're like, well, you know, we'll call them trash. They're like, well, what you did was trash. And we're like, yeah, that's the idea. Like come here and we'll laugh about it. Like, you know, it's like a real blue, like it's like real blue collar middle America, like upbringing, really. You know.
Yeah, I think people enjoy the fact of knowing that, like, holy shit, other families, you know, like other grandmoms had the artificial turf and the fucking hard candies, and you know, you guys went on shitty vacations too, and you know, your parents got into a fight in the car, and you know, all that kind of trash stuff that, regardless of money, race, anything, everybody has that in them. So it's a good commonality. Sorry about that.
But you know what it is, because shame comes with that, right? Shame comes with garbage.
Yeah, it does. It does.
If you were eating a fucking, what is it? A spam if you were eating that shit and you were doing that, you know, my mother's best friend from 5th grade, she married this dude. It was like, I mean, and like the guy the guy had a $14 million home. The guy had Bentleys. The guy had Porsches. The guy had, rest his soul, he passed away, but he grew up in a trailer park, dude. So if you had a guy like that, I'm sure there's probably people that if you had like Elon Musk on your show and you said to him, like when you're 8 years old, unless he's a hedge fund kid, you could have a guy like Elon, because some of those people that are like really took off kind of did because they remember fucking their mother like trying to make a box of macaroni and cheese go for like 6 people.
Sure.
And you kind of, and that's what the show is, because like you said, my father, I don't even know if I told you guys this, before my parents got divorced, my father was a big wig at AIG. I was 5 years. My parents got divorced in 1982. My father was going down, we lived in like a Tudor in Scarsdale. Okay. I would not be fucking here talking to you two if that shit didn't work out.
Sure. If that, yeah.
And I probably would have went to some fine fucking college. I would have grown. My dad had like a brand new Jaguar, 1982. He was going to Manhattan. He was like a top guy at AIG. And then we were living that life, you know. My dad had like fucking fur coats and shit that he wanted to like. My dad had a fur coat. He bought like my mother a matching one. It was like, you know, ridiculous. You know where I get it from, matching Rolexes and shit. And they get divorced. And then me, my mom, and my brother are in a 1-bedroom apartment. And it's really kind of rough at the time, and things happen. And you're going like, oh shit. So many people have that. And I think that that's what's the beauty of Are You Garbage? Because no matter how good somebody is doing then or now, there's always a patch of garbage.
Of course. And we found out like money doesn't matter, right? Like it depends. Like my dad was a business owner, like did okay. Like there was money at times when we were growing up, but like just to show how trashy he was, like, you know, he would like not pay the bills and the car would get repoed and shit, you know. So it's like they'd be like coming to take his Lincoln Navigator out of the driveway and shit. But it's like it does. If you hit the lottery, the money only shows how garbage you are. You know what I mean? It's like Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights. It's like money doesn't change it. It's not a money thing. It's generational. Like, you know. So it's like if you made a lot of money, people, like your kids are going to do better. Your kids are going to be a little less trash than you were, and then like so on and so on. You know.
Early 80s lottery winners had no fucking chance of getting out. None.
No.
I know a kid that I know a guy that blew like $5 million on IROC Z28s and heroin. I swear to God, dude. Was broke within like a year.
Oh, dude.
Car was sweet though. It's a nice whip. And I remember somebody emailed me or sent me a message, because I told a story that when we first moved down to the Philadelphia area from upstate Pennsylvania, it was the money was a lot different. It was more of an expensive area. So we moved from like a regular house into a townhome. Me and my brother were sharing a room. We were like, 12 and 13 or whatever. And there was like the first snowfall. We didn't know anybody. We fucking getting our asses kicked in school and shit like that. And the first snowfall, my mom says, I'll take the day off and I'll take you sledding. And this is like a nice area, right? So, you want to fucking be flashy. You want to make the scene. So I'm thinking we'll stop at Walmart. We'll pick up a couple of Red Riders, a couple of fucking tubes. We'll go over there. We'll make it look nice. We go straight to the hill. We get out of the car. She pulls out 2 of the fucking moving boxes. And she's like, don't worry, these are going to be okay. Wow. So we're out there. Yeah, wet cardboard, dude, does not, like, talk about Elon Musk. It does not translate into going down the hill smoothly. And, dude, Jesus we were like, what? Like, literally, it was like just jumping into the snow. It was like, and he went right down.
Yeah, and it gets wet on the bottom. It just breaks.
Oh, dude.
What, you didn't have a trash can lid laying around, or a fucking baking sheet or something? You're using cardboard boxes to go sledding.
What do you think? I'm going up there with 2 meatloaf pans on my feet? What are you talking about? But this guy hit me up and said, hey, the same thing happened to me when I was a kid, and they made fun of me forever for it. And I was like forever embarrassed. And it wasn't until I heard the podcast where it kind of made me feel, okay about it. Because we all got that shit.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of shame in this. There's a lot of people that don't want to talk about certain things. And then now there's this comedy podcast to make you laugh it off. Like when I talked about my depression, my OCD, I got letters, dude. I got letters from people going like, you saved my life. And I'm going, I'm just being so like you guys doing this. I mean, hopefully it doesn't save somebody's life that they fucking mother sucked, or their fathers. But I got to ask you guys while I have you on here. This is so great. This is going by so fast. What's the most garbage thing that you've heard? Like, was there one where it even took you, where you were just like, what the fuck? Do you have one?
The one for me that jumps out was Sarah Tolomash lets milk expire in the fridge and then makes ricotta cheese out of it using an old T-shirt as a cheesecloth, and then fucking eats it.
Look at Paul.
How
Grow up.
That can make me throw up. And I'm hungry right now.
Dude, it haunts my dreams.
That's a tough one, dude.
Crazy.
That's the grossest. I think two of the most interesting episodes is Doug Smith growing up in a Mormon household, and Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony Hinchcliffe's life is fucking bananas. If you don't know that story, go fucking listen to that. It's crazy. But I think the trashiest, like, lovable thing, and I always go back to it, is our boy Brendan Sagalow. Pure Long Island trash. His parents get separated. The dad, instead of moving out, moves into Brendan's room and makes Brendan move down into the den. This is during high school.
Wow.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Dude, he was hanging up Blink 182 pictures in the living room like it was his fucking bedroom, dude. You got a bunk bed in your living room. You're fucking trash.
Oh my God, that is fucking nuts.
His dad's got a sock on the door because he's got company over. That's fucking wild.
Dude, that is fucking with the Sarah Tolomash thing. It's tough to take for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if anybody knows me, for me, that's like, that one hurts. But
I'm a huge milk guy too. That kept me away from ricotta cheese for about 3 hours. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, oh, dude, you guys, man. So, and now talk to me about this. Talk to me about this tour. We'll try to, anybody listening to this, the Are You Garbage guys, H. Foley, Kevin Ryan are going on tour with the Are You Garbage. Before we get out of here, let me know like what that's about. Are you guys going to do stand up and the live show?
We're going to do stand up, and then we're also going to play Are You Garbage with the audience. You know what I mean? Kind of make it like a hybrid, not do like a full, a full podcast. Just get right into, going back and forth with the audience, because we do a live stream on our Patreon with our top tier members, and they're just as fucking funny as us. And they got the best questions. We're all going back and forth. We're shitting on each other. So we want to try to figure out how to, bring that to a live element. Just have like a really good time going back and forth with the crowd.
That's smart too, because then it's like anytime you get the crowd involved, anytime like you get those people that are like, they're excited because when they leave the place, they're going to go, oh dude, I'm a piece of garbage because of that. Or like on the way to the thing, I hope I get to say my thing. It's comedy and a show. It's like a game show in a way. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So we're going out on a little tour, and we had the first 4 or 5 dates ironed out. First up at the end of April is we're going to be in Raleigh Good Nights April 20th, and then Nashville at Zany's April 21st. So we're doing that first little leg. Hopefully it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those.
Yeah, way to really fucking way to cut her out at the end of the plug there. So hopefully,
I wanted to try.
Hopefully we don't bomb.
Zoom. I thought somebody was going to step in there. I wanted to blame it on the Zoom. I almost did a fake freeze.
A fake freeze would be funny if you're just saying something and the story's going nowhere and you just
Sorry, my Wi-Fi's cutting out.
No, dude, guys, this went so fast, and I want to do this. I want to do this again with you. What sucks is now, I can't. You guys aren't going to be opening for me, Kevin. You're not going to open pretty soon. You're going to be like, yeah, fuck you, Virzi.
I still want the dates, baby. I need the rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting up like once a month to begin with. So, but I'll carry the bags if you need.
Also, too, when changing on that.
Yeah, I remember the first time you called me or you texted me or you Facebook messaged. We didn't even have each other's numbers. You're like, yo, you want to open for me at Bananas this weekend or next weekend in Jersey? Dude, I thought I thought Mr. Hollywood just fucking reached out to me. I called my mom. I was like, yo, I fucking made it, dog. I'm opening for Virzi, you know.
Meanwhile, there's like a cardboard there's like a cardboard bunch of bananas literally on the stage. There's like a fake tree. And you're just
yeah. We're in like a fucking auditorium or whatever.
Yeah. It was literally like a arts and crafts set, and we were psyched. But no, dude, we're gonna do that. And guys, go to Zany's Chicago, go to Zany's Nashville. You won't be disappointed because it's not just the great podcast. It's funny stand-up, great dudes in the game, and could not be happier for you guys, man. I think that everybody I knew, and I mean, I'm not trying to be one of those dicks that takes credit, but I fucking called. I told, when I did that show, I said, there's something about this show that's different. You can do a podcast and you could go, oh, that was good. You know, I did one yesterday. I go, hey man, we're going to take questions from the audience. All right, great. You could do a podcast here and there and you go, oh, that was good. But then there's those magical times where you're like, this is something, you know, this is something. And I felt that. I think you guys are going to go to the moon. I think it's just the beginning. And, you know, so there you go. So
you spot me $5,000 till that happens, Paulie.
I got to look at the bank account. I just took a bath with American Airlines.
Buddy, we had such a fun time when you were on, and make no mistake, I know Kevin feels the same way. We love you to death, man. Thank you for everything. You've always been great to us, and we love you.
Well, you know, you could have me back on the show. That would show me something.
Absolutely.
Don't fucking don't.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We already have that worked out. You're coming in to do the thing, plug the tour.
I'm just busting chops, man. I could use it. This COVID's killing me down here. Guys,
we'll have Sarah make some ricotta.
Oh, fuck you, dude. That just ruined my lunch. I will see you guys soon, hopefully at a show. Guys, everybody, there's a Virzi Effect. Please like and subscribe to the Virzi Effect, iTunes, Spotify, everywhere we get podcasts. Same with Are You Garbage? Check these guys out. Follow these guys. Go to their show. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. This has been TVE 488. Until next week, I am out of here. Check out my other podcast with Bill Burr, Anything Better. Check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. And for all my dates, go to paulvirzi.com. I will be in Oklahoma City, April 1 through 3 at Bricktown Comedy Club next week. Hope to see you there. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Thanks.